I want to talk openly and honestly about this entire controversy that has exploded in the past week. First and foremost, I want to start by saying I f***ed up. I should have told the people I was talking to that there were other people, and of course I regret that decision, and I've reflected on it a lot, and I'm learning and going to be better in the future.
Oh, Harry, please, we all know you can't get better. I mean, after all, you are already the cutest member of the Xanathran family. Now, maybe it's a tie between you and the giant sloth. God rest his soul. So to many of you, this will be a new species, Harry Sisson, Democrat shill, beta, cook, Harry Sisson. And I don't know what his Latin name is, but you know about the two-clawed, the two-toed sloths and the three-toed sloths. Well, this is the one-chode sloth.
Now, what I will say is that this entire situation has been blown wildly out of proportion by MAGA Republicans to further their political agenda.
Oh, would that it were, Harry. I really wish that were the case, but unfortunately for this, apparently harmless, limp-wristed tree-dwelling mammal, he's let the cat out of the bag. The figurative harpy's eagle, me, has got you in her sights, right? And I'm about to carry your weak ass off to my nest of starving, screeching eagle pups.
Like, we all know that they don't actually care about this. They just hate me. That's why they care. I mean, when has MAGA ever cared about women?
We got receipts of all of those young ladies you've led up the garden path.
Also, MAGA has been spreading misinformation about the situation, so I want to set the record straight. I was not in a relationship with anyone. I wasn't exclusive with anyone.
Hopefully none of them were too young, you know what I mean?
I never met anybody in person.
Well, I just hope you had a chaperone, Harry.
I never spoke to anybody on the phone, and it was done among consensual adults.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
Okay, so regular viewers of this show will know that I love nothing more than when a holier-than-thou ass clown like Harry Sisson here gets their comeuppance, right? When they have their mask slip moment and everyone gets to see what a total narc they are. Because I knew this would happen at some point, because the only reason somebody like that gets into this echo chamber, virtue signaling TikTok video world is because how can I put this? They weren't exactly a jock, the captain of the football team at school, were they? They weren't the prom queen, shall we say. And I can always see a mile off that when eventually something like this does happen, they will blame everyone but themselves and tell you not to turn against them, and they'll gaslight you. Just look at him.
That's it. It was a very casual thing. Additionally, we as Democrats have to get better at recognizing someone who makes a mistake and can learn from that mistake, and someone who does actual harm to a community. We cannot, as a party, just attack and demonize people who make mistakes, people who are learning from their actions. If we ever want to hold office ever again and actually win an election, our umbrella should be as wide as possible, and we shouldn't be trying to silence people or push people away who are vocal on these issues.
So that's his reaction to a, frankly, sex scandal, which we're going to get into. I'm going to show you the videos of all of the women. Well, there's too many to get through, frankly, and all of the creepy, weird messages he sends to people like a total beta, all right? Like a guy who's never been around any women or people. He's just a total spaz, basically, which is exactly what you would expect, okay? The way he's reacting, blaming it, it's all the Republicans' fault, for exposing me. They're making too much of this. And if you find him to be a living, walking, breathing contradiction because of his constant Bible bashing, frankly, about women's rights and shit, and then you find out that he's asking every woman he's ever interacted with for nudes, if you notice that contradiction, Basically, look, do you want the Democrats to ever win an election again? Because you need to stop delving into my private life. Can you imagine if I did that, right? Like, if somebody started investigating my private life, and of course found a completely clean slate, a model citizen, an upstanding member of my community is what I am. Tell them. If anyone did do that, and God forbid they found out about, I don't know, something inappropriate I might have said on occasion. Can you imagine if I came on here and said, well, the given collective that I was attacking that day, it's their fault. They're making too much about it. They're making a mountain out of a molehill, frankly. And if you think my comments were in any way of any kind, then, that's a you thing. That's really, do you ever want your party to win the elections again? For God's sake, I feel like you don't even want them to win the election. Leave me alone.
The final thing I'll say about this is that people involved in this situation released my private text messages, private photos of me, intimate details about me that intended to stay private without my knowledge or consent.
That's why we call him the one-chode sloth. So he's upset that his privacy has been violated and, All right, let's get into what he's actually done, all right? Let's check out the receipts because, I don't think he's done anything illegal yet.
No one died.
But I gotta say, as I soar over the jungle, I strongly disapprove of this behaviour, okay? I'm not for it. Harry Sisson convinced 11 different women that he had no roster and respected them for more than their bodies while persuading them to send explicit photos of themselves through Snapchat, including one from a domestic abuse survivor. When the women discovered each other one by one, he called them all insane and attempted to coerce one of them into telling the public that the photos were fake. Now, as I said, I don't think anything he's done is illegal. It's always the same guys, isn't it? It's always the apparently harmless tree dwellers, the limp-wristed chode sloths like Harry Sisson, that are apparently innocuous, who could, they wouldn't hurt a fly, who turn out to be the manipulative, I've turned into Chris Eubank, because I'm lost for words, frankly. I'm astonished.
I got played by a TikTok influencer for 9 months, and I think it's time that I expose his trashy ass behavior. We started talking in May of last year, right before my birthday, and he wooed me. He was very kind. I felt really excited and thankful that I found somebody who, at the time, I thought respected me for more than my physical appearance. I literally could have never imagined or even fathomed what was gonna end up happening after talking for 9 months. I'm really embarrassed to admit this, but I created a private story on Snapchat for just him and named it For Your Eyes Only, and he loved it. He loved the attention that I was giving him and the fact that he knew that I wasn't entertaining anybody else the way I was entertaining him. Within the first 2 to 3 months, he had told me on 2 separate occasions that I was wife material and that he was, quote-unquote, sold on my wifey application. He was frequently saving my snaps and just making me feel good about myself, call me beautiful and gorgeous, so it's how could I not read into that? 6 months into talking, he suddenly is I'm not looking for any commitment and I'm not in a place to find anything long-term right now. I'm just really busy, blah, blah, blah. And I was understanding. I was fine keeping things casual. However, I couldn't help but feel that he led me on. And he even admitted to that. He's like, yeah, that's on me for not making my intentions clearer. Okay. He tells me a couple more times after that he doesn't want commitment. And then next thing I know, he's posting a soft launch thirst trap of him and his new girlfriend 2 weeks ago. Actually, prior to this, I had found out that he fucked around with somebody else by him going live on TikTok and showing hickeys on his neck. That's how I literally found out that he was fucking around. And so I confronted him about it, right? Like any normal person would do. And he got all defensive and started gaslighting me, basically saying that I was overreacting and all this stuff. And I was like, you're kidding me, right?
Yeah, so like I say, it's just shitty, nasty, bad person behavior, basically. It's it's always comes from the same people who have so many big ideas about how the world should work, don't know how to treat the people that are immediately in their lives with basic decency, right? And that's what the Daniel Boland show is about. Decency, morals, respect, having a laugh, That's why you keep coming back, some of you.
Keep in mind, he was well aware of the fact that I was very depressed following a very traumatic car accident that I had been in, and he still took advantage of my sadness. Anywho, I forgot to mention, but we were mutuals on TikTok, mutuals on Instagram. I was his only friend on Facebook, and I have receipts of this, of course, but he's trying to remove me from everything. He demanded that I unsave everything on Snapchat because he had a new girlfriend, and it was like out of respect for her. Bro, you don't know the first thing about respecting women. Jump to last night, I find out that he was leading somebody else on at the same time he was leading me on, and my world was shook. I DM'd her because I saw a comment she left on his backup account, I guess is what you could call it, and she was like, oh my god, I think we went through the same thing. And I was like, no freaking way, girl, spill. And so, long story short, we talked literally probably 6-7 hours last night, exposing everything. Early on in the conversation, she tells me that he had told her in December that he had no roster. What the fuck do you call me? You're talking to me for 7 months at that point, and you're gonna say that you have no roster. I see. She shared screenshots of their conversations, I shared screenshots of ours, and
yeah, the screenshots of the conversations and Snapchats he sends are as weak as you might expect.
Damn, you're sexy. I'd fuck you raw after wine tasting, but that's just me.
Now, some of you who are watching may be of the ilk of persons I get in my comment section from time to time who believe that, you know, everyone's just kind of this wishy-washy, we've all made mistakes. Not me, all right? You won't find any sex messages from me. You know, the last time I ever wrote to anyone must have been 2009, so good luck digging that up from Facebook. And even then it would have just been, you know, details, time, plans. There'd be no flirting or anything like that, okay? There's no Ryan Giggs style poems and the like.
You're hot. The verdict is you look sexy as fuck. Court adjourned. God, that ass is fat.
I am so grateful that I am not trying to date in 2025 because it's so pathetic. The only way these absolute social retards could ever thrive is with online apps. You know, you can't go up and say to a woman, God, your ass is fat, right? I mean, it's just disgusting, creepy, weird, but for some reason that you can make that work on the internet, apparently. It's just
Look at this fucking nerd with the shirtless selfie Snapchat, whatever this fucking thing is. Couldn't agree more. Beautiful.
we basically came to the conclusion that he is a despicable, a disgusting fuckboy.
Yeah, and then there are the messages between him and the domestic abuse survivor who he's trying to get underneath, like the lesser male cuttlefish that he is, trying to be an ally, and then getting her to send him nudes.
Sarah, he fucking pushed you and dragged you. That is not okay. You're literally not overreacting at all. Do not do that so that you can find the good in him. Do not excuse that behavior or make it less than horrific. Yeah, that was not some other person. That was him.
Obviously, the domestic abuse guy, if that's real, that's terrible. But what about... it's funny I called him a tree-dwelling mammal. Because come to think of it, there's those... Isn't there something about orangutans? As they get older, they can't climb trees. The big alpha males can't climb the trees.
The fat niggas soaking up all the sunlight.
So they just hang around on the ground. And the little weak males can still climb through the trees. So they're just lurking in the bushes, like waiting to get a female when they can. That's Harry Sisson, a little gay orangutan.
Shall we? So before I get into these around 50 screenshots providing evidence and context for anything that I've said, I do want to reiterate something just for even more context. I met Harry in summer of 2020. We were both kind of like the original political TikTokers, and we were on the Dem High Pass, which was a huge political TikTok account. Our relationship has always been friend-based. However, when I did go to Jersey to visit my aunt, he has a summer house there, so we did hook up a couple times. So it was kind of like friends with benefits, but it was kind of established that if we saw each other in person, we'd probably hook up, but our conversations outside of seeing each other in person or whatever were never really like flirty or anything like that. So I was never under any sort of impression that we were exclusive ever. We never were like that. So my story is going to be different than a lot of these girls. Just putting that out there. So up until about maybe the beginning of 2023, I would have considered Harry one of my best friends. And let me know if you see a pattern here. But what really kicked that off was that he was the one recording my rapist when I called him and got him admitting to raping me on audio, okay? Which was great, whatever. And then Harry started drinking. So when Harry started drinking, he started getting a lot more aggressively flirty.
Oh dear. Who would have guessed the weak beta cuttlefish would use alcohol as a crutch to come on to women?
I apologize for my hand tremors, I can't control them, but if you want to pause and screenshot those, these are times in which Harry was getting obliterated drunk and calling, FaceTiming, and saying very sexual things to me. I didn't really care. You know, it's whatever, drunk words, sober thoughts, you get it. And then this is when I noticed kind of a shift in Harry. He started to gain a lot more attention, a lot more of a following, and he created a Discord, in which it was a very exclusive Discord, and very strange, creepy people were allowed in the Discord. I was in it for a little bit, but I was like never allowed to talk in it, so that's where Harry meets somebody named Camille, okay? I was advised not to, by my father, not to pursue an internship or a job with this Camille guy because my dad said he looked sketchy. Harry decided to go ahead and do so. And this is when I started getting messages from a minor, whom I will not say the name, with autism, who is also in the Discord. He was probably around 14 at the time. And he was sending me some concerning things regarding what Camille would send to him. Those are things I cannot show for legal reasons, but...
It gets pretty dark from there on in. Anyway, I think I'll probably have to make another video. I think I'll finish this little video on Patreon later tonight because it's getting pretty long now, but I'll break down that in a bit more detail. But I think you get the idea from today's video. Basically, Harry Sisson bad, Daniel Boland great, okay? Hasn't messaged any women or men, ever. You know, even on their birthdays. I'm that careful, basically. Anyway, it's, I think I'm finished here today. If you've enjoyed the video, if you've had a lovely time, let the universe, let the algorithm know by giving me a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. What have you been doing for the last 17 minutes or so? If not. And like I say, yeah, join me on my Patreon if you want to see a little bit more about today's video and get some access to some other exclusive videos that I've made on there. And you'll be helping out with the channel. And that's a good thing. I'll see you in the next one.
What the fuck are you doing? Look, this is your life. Right here, right now. It's real time. You hear me? Real time. Time to get real, not playback. You understand?